Good morning, Berlin! The sun is up, the streets are bustling, and as always, we're here to bring you the news that matters the most. I'm Peter Hochstetter, and let's get into this week's top stories. First, changes in the halls of justice. The Office of Judicial Oversight has officially been rebranded. From now on, it shall be known as the Office of Judicial Affairs. Under Minister of Justice, Gauwin Waltz, the office now chairs the German Bar Association and holds sweeping powers to audit courts, investigate malpractice, and issue policy. The Minister of Justice has appointed Calvin J. Candy as the head of Judicial Affairs. From court reports to enforcement actions, if it's justice, it's under their watch. Wasting no time, Justice Candy has issued a sweeping production order to the party courts demanding all legal documents, rosters, and trial records by April 11th. The move is part of a broader effort to strengthen the justice system and ensure proper oversight. Judicial integrity, it seems, is back on the agenda. And now we cut to the Minister of Justice for a word on judicial affairs.
My administration's goal, and particularly that of the Judicial Affairs Office, is to ensure that judicial integrity remains strong. I don't intend to antagonize nor demonize any court systems that are below par, and instead I wish to hone in on them and bring them back to standards. My primary aim, as I've made very clear before in other briefings and before the Federal Council, is a truly fair judiciary. The authorities that I granted to the Judicial Affairs Office only ensures my vision becomes reality. Thank you all.
Meanwhile, in the cabinet, Wilhelm Kepler's career took off like a rocket. First appointed royal treasurer by the hand of the emperor himself, Kepler barely had time to put ink on his pen before he accepted a new commanding role in our empire. Why the switch? After the disgraceful fall of the recently appointed Interior Minister Friedrich Weber, who was dismissed in one of the most brutal imperial decrees in recent memory, Kepler was promoted to Minister of the Interior, Chief of Police, and Senator. That's right, 3 hats, 1 man. We thank Mr. Kepler for his support of Good Morning Berlin, and we wish him all the luck in the world in his new position. And now we have Mr. Kepler waiting live to speak on his new appointment.
Thank you, Peter Hofstetter. Just correcting you there. As Royal Treasurer, I did bring in some millions, but nonetheless, my efficiency will no longer be needed within the Royal Treasury, but in the Interior Ministry. So we will be bringing back common sense where it belongs. Police and into the Empire.
Let's take a quick pause from politics and check in with the weather. Here's Stephen Sparrow with your morning forecast.
Yes, Peter, as you can see, it's going to be hot as fuck every day this week. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Now for our next story. In a dramatic clash between the legislative and executive branches, the corridors of government are echoing with questions of authority and control. Prime Minister Augustus Mannerheim has appointed a Sergeant-at-Arms to the Federal Council, tasked with maintaining discipline and order during proceedings. But someone forgot to tell the Reichstag. Hours after the Prime Minister's decree, Vice President von Aachen, who also serves as the presiding officer of the Reichstag, issued a scathing rebuttal. In a public statement, he declared the appointment null, void, and a fantasy of imaginary power. Not stopping at words, von Aachen immediately installed his own sergeant-at-arms within the Reichstag, asserting that chamber security falls exclusively under parliamentary jurisdiction. He went even further, warning that any rogue security officials attempting to act under the Prime Minister's authority would be considered unauthorized and subject to detainment. This rare public showdown marks a deeper power struggle unfolding behind the scenes, one that pits constitutional roles against political ambition. With both men refusing to back down, government order may soon depend on who shows up with the keys and who answers to whom. And now let's talk about something that matters to everyone: ammunition. Ammo prices are a big topic of discussion recently. Many say that they're too high. To detail the ammo price situation is the newly appointed, by the Prince Regent, Procurement Minister himself, Vale Hochmuth, with a special address.
Citizens, soldiers, and officers of Berlin, this is your Minister of Procurements. I'm here to address concerns about rising ammunition prices. But fear not, 2 factories are being made only for ammo in Berlin, while others handle the war effort. With Berlin's supply as our top priority, except one of the 10, that factory is reserved for something special. the upcoming public debut of the STG-44 rifle, now entering final testing. Stay sharp, gentlemen, and long live the Empire.
Thank you, Minister Hochmut. That message was brought to you by the Ministry of Procurements. Lastly, this morning, President Victor von Mannheim is cracking the whip on government slackers. His latest order on government efficiency reaffirms weekly report requirements for all ministers, tracking everything from salaries to staffing and operations. Any minister failing to file will find themselves under scrutiny, not just from the president, but from the Pantheon itself. The bureaucracy is watching. That's all for today's session of Good Morning Berlin. From justice reforms to ammo prices and imperial oversight, you heard it here first. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and as always, see you in the next reel.